Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about responsibility as power. If you're new, my name is Brendan. Here we teach that there's no limit to what you're capable of aside from those which you acknowledge. That being said, we are going to talk about how everything is possible to you, but you must take responsibility for everything in your life if you're willing to take up the power to change it. Could be your financial situation, it could be physical changes, it could be healing, it could be a move to another state, another country, it could be passing exams, it could be getting a promotion or a new job, it could be a lump sum of money. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're manifesting, all things are possible to you, but you must take responsibility for what is in order to be able to change it. By this, I mean that you cannot exist in a state of victimhood, which is essentially fear and complete lack of responsibility, and still create your reality to be how you want it to be. The reason for this is because if you are a victim, then that means that there is something or someone outside of you controlling your life, meaning that you don't have that power. Now, because you are one with the all, you're one with source, you are creating your reality. If you're choosing to believe in something outside of you that has more power than you or takes power away from you, then you are giving away your power, and it will reflect in your inability to change anything about your life. So you have to be willing to take responsibility. You can no longer look at your financial situation, your job, your relationship situation, anything about your life, even physical appearance, while feeling like a victim. I was talking with someone I'm close to about this the other day. They've been wanting to manifest physical changes, and they recognize that they can only change what they're willing to believe is possible. So they're looking at the facts, right? They're saying you can't change bone structure because it's cells, it's the bones, it's solid. Once you're done growing, you're done growing. Many people have these limitations and these beliefs. But behind that all, everything is just energy, right? So this person was also able to manifest a relationship, a wonderful relationship, in what seemed like an impossible situation, okay? But if you can do that, if you can literally use energy, telepathy, whatever you want to call it, to influence another person in your world and have a relationship, why can't you manifest physical changes? It's all energy, whether it's thought form energy or physical energy. Maybe it appears that physical energy is more solid, more real, harder to change, but that is also just a belief. There's no limit to what you're capable of than those you will acknowledge. So if you're acknowledging the science, the facts of the world, which Neville Goddard would have called the stones, right? When people give you all these facts of the world telling you what you want isn't possible, they're stoning you to death. So come to life, come to knowing that you are the creator of your experience. You're the God, you're the superconscious, you are whatever you want to call it, but you have all the power. That being said, just recognize it's all imagination. Neville Goddard said this world is just as imaginary as the dream of the night. Okay, so you know that just because this has continuity, this is still just a dream. It's God's dream, it's Source's dream. But you are capable of changing any part of it at any time as soon as you're willing to accept the responsibility for it. Don't feel like a victim because of what you look like or because of your financial situation or for any reason. Because as long as you are willing to identify with the perspective of victimhood, then you cannot, literally cannot identify with the perspective of power. Now, this doesn't mean you can't vent, okay? It's all right to express your feelings. You don't want to hold in emotion. Maybe you feel really bad about things or you need to cry. Go ahead and do that. Don't hold in your emotions. Don't be afraid to express how you really feel in this moment because you think it's going to perpetuate your problem. In truth, when you release that energy in a healthy, emotional, natural way, venting, maybe even crying, it allows you to release that energy and you can come back to more of a peace, okay? And peace is definitely in line with fulfillment of any desire, because when you feel peaceful, when you feel relaxed, that's probably how you want to feel when you have your ideal life, right? Any aspect of your ideal life. You're not worried or fearful or doubtful or impatient about anything. You're at peace. And that means that everything is already done. That peace, that relaxation implies that everything you desire is already yours. Okay? And again, Neville Goddard said, The power of every imaginal act, whether it's thinking, affirmation, visualization, scripting, the power of every imaginal act is in its implication. So even just choosing to release that energy, cry, vent, whatever, and then feeling that peace afterwards, all right, feeling that relaxation once you've let it out, let it go, that implies that everything is perfect. And so you're another step closer. So don't ever be afraid to feel your feelings, okay? But once you're done, accept responsibility. Take up the reins again. You have the power. Take it back. So that being said, since everything is imaginary, this whole thing is still a dream. It's just consciousness projecting onto the screen of space. That means that if you wanted physical changes, for example, which so many people struggle with, even I don't think I've been dedicated enough to get drastic changes. I've done healings, I've gotten rid of pimples, I've grown just a little bit, but it's not anything that I want to make a full video about. But it's also because there's probably a deeper desire than just the outward thing. So maybe at the surface level, it could feel like I would really want to be 6 feet, right? If I'm under 6 feet, I really want to be 6 feet just because that number is so nice. But beneath that is probably the true desire, the essence of that desire, which is for acceptance, love, recognition, to feel attractive. So that's also something you want to look at if you're trying to manifest, for example, physical changes. What is the real motivation behind it? Do you just want to look away because you want to look a certain way? If so, that's totally fine. But if there is a deeper reason, dig into that, okay? And maybe get into places in your childhood or past experiences where people made you feel opposite of how you want to feel. And that can help you greatly, very, very greatly. Because once you get to the root of it, that's where you change things. Your mind is like a garden. You can pull out the weeds, but if you don't get them at the root, they're going to grow back. So get to the root of what it is. Do you really want to have that perfect face? You want to look just like so-and-so? Or is it that you want acceptance? You want to be loved? You want to be seen as beautiful by others? Because all of these things are possible in the ideal way, which may not be what we think it is. Oftentimes it's not. We think we know exactly how things need to go, and we love to control, because if we are in control, then we know everything that's going to happen and how it's going to happen perfectly. No, there is a better way, and infinite intelligence, which is not separate from you, knows what it is, but it requires trust. It requires trust, and you can't trust if you're trying to be in control. And you also can't trust if you're in a state of victimhood. So that's another reason why victimhood takes away your power. But trust is power, because you're trusting in none other than yourself. You're not believing in an outside God or some outside force or universe to do it. You trust that it has perfect communication with you. It knows through your feeling exactly what you want. So trust in your feeling, allow yourself to feel ideal now, and that's going to be a huge help. Remember, this is a shadow world. So again, if you want to talk about physical changes, this physical body may seem so real, all the science, this and that about growth plates or bone structure or how cells work. Why is it that you would believe you can change other people's behavior, right? You can send out an energetic thought form and they'll come back and buy you a cup of coffee or something like that. But you can't send the same type of energy to your cells and have them respond by changing. Your entire body is recreated every 7 years. Every cell in your body, is replaced, recreated and replaced every 7 years. Why can't you do anything about that process? And you absolutely can, because this is a shadow world. Neville called it that all the time. He even said that when one of his students had lost someone, a close family member, and they couldn't get over it, they manifested seeing them once again, and they saw them in spirit, like a beautiful, beautiful, raised to the highest degree of beauty version of that one who they had lost, telling them everything was all right, they're sorry, they never meant to hurt them by leaving. But after that, she went to tell her husband, because it was their son that they had lost, and when she saw him, she could see right through him. He was nothing but a shadow. And she said it frightened her because everyone in this world appeared to her as a shadow for a few days. This is not something we're saying to be spiritual and sound super esoteric. Literally, this world is a dream. It's a shadow. And how do you change a shadow? You can't reach down onto the ground and change it. You change self, and your shadow changes. So change yourself if there's anything you want. Physical changes, more money, ideal relationship. Change yourself. You have to match the shape of what you want to project. What is the shape of that? What is the shape of someone who looks how you want to look? How do you carry yourself? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are you imagining throughout the day? How much do you actually think about how you look when you're out and about or even at home alone or looking in the mirror? Okay, it's probably vastly different than you are right now in your state of desiring, or even in a state of victimhood if you feel like someone has done this to you. Applying it to financial situation, you're not a victim to the economy. Might as well turn the news off because that's just going to make you think that there's limitations, right? There's a limit. If you're thinking that the economy is bad, so no one has money, so it's a bad time to start a business, that's going to be true in your world. But if you look at the world as abundant, you recognize your business has something to offer and it's valuable, and you'll find yourself having plenty of people that can come and support you. It's really based on your feeling. Remember, there are people in the worst times in economic history making more money than they've ever made. And the difference between them and the people who are suffering is their state of consciousness. So assume the state of consciousness of whatever it is you desire. What do you think? What do you feel? What do you see? What do you experience? How is your life? How do people see you? What are your favorite things to do? All of this. You want to look at your life as you are already ideal, from the perspective that you are already ideal. That way you can live in the end. Don't be like these people who imagine for 10 minutes in the morning and the rest of the time, all their life, they're living in a state of lack. Desiring, living in fear, living in worry, living in doubt, living in impatience. Actively choose to relax, to choose peace, to feel ideal, and to recognize your power by recognizing that you are the only one that creates every event in your world. It's not like manifesting is something you choose to do and the rest of the time it's on autopilot. No, you are always creating, so you might as well do it consciously. Not one experience or thing or person or anything has come into your experience without it being preceded by your imagining it on some level. You manifest each and everything. So if you really want to look at your life and see what your shape is, look at the shadow, look at the world. How does it treat you? How do you feel on a daily basis? And you'll understand how you treat yourself internally. So I'm sure you found this valuable. You're welcome to check out my Stand store if you want to see what I have to offer, including my Detachment Mastery course, which digs deep in how to get over all fear, doubt, worry, impatience, and much, much more. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.